Hello, welcome to the AppleInsider Podcast's iPhone 17 launch special. I'm William Gallagher, and you have probably gathered that Apple has launched new iPhones. More details of everything will be coming out over the next few days. And on this Friday's regular AppleInsider Podcast, Wesley Hilliard and I will be examining it all in detail. But for now, let's you and I take a race through what was announced, starting with the surprises. And there were some. Despite all of the leaks, so many of which actually turned out to be accurate, there were still some unexpected moments, some unexpected features, and actually enough so that it's a little hard to know which to start with. But picking them practically at random, let's first take the iPhone 17 itself, the base model, because this can now really only be called a base model because all of the rest are a bit better. The iPhone 17 base model is now replete with the kind of features that have previously persuaded buyers they ought to go for the Pro models. Specifically, the iPhone 17 now has an always-on display, which means, well, just as well as you not having to turn it on to see the time, you can always also see live activities. So if you're waiting for a flight or an Uber or just for your team to win, a glance at your iPhone 17 screen will tell you. And as part of achieving that, the iPhone 17 now also has ProMotion. This is the technology, if you don't happen to already know it, that when you're watching a video, say, it will speed up the refresh rate of the screen. But if you're just sitting back reading a book, it'll slow that screen down incredibly. The result being you get what feels like a much faster, much more responsive iPhone, but you don't wreck the battery life. It's taken 4 years now for ProMotion to come to the base iPhone, but let's not complain. Let's enjoy it and think about how it actually makes choosing which iPhone to buy more difficult than ever. Perhaps especially because of the next surprise, Center Stage. This is now on the iPhone 17. In fact, it's on all of the iPhone 17s, and it may even stop people like me grumbling when an iPhone is used to put photos in portrait. I mean, it will always and it will forever be that landscape shots are better, but now if I'm happily smiling for the camera, I will no longer be able to tell which way around the final shot's going to be. For even if you hold the phone in portrait, it can, optionally, take landscape shots because of Center Stage. That Center Stage, it's better known for how on the iPad it automatically reframes shots as you move during video calls or as people join you on that video call. Well, that exact same thing is now on the iPhone 17 range, but we also get this portrait landscape trick. There were surprises maybe half surprises. One of the reasons for going for a higher up than the base level thing, specifically battery life, could be the thing that pushes you towards the Pro models. Apple was actually expected to reveal that the iPhone 17 Pro Max has the biggest battery ever, and it did exactly that. But Apple also revealed the detail that matters the most. It told us what this means, which is up to 39 hours battery life. I mean, okay, 39 hours, that's the theoretical maximum. I mean, doubtlessly achieved under, laboratory testing at Apple Park, but real-world use is never going to be as good as that, yet it will still be substantially better than the iPhone 16 Pro Max. And that's good because, of course it's good, but especially because you're likely to be using the new model more than ever. Because, in another surprise, Apple has added some serious Pro features for video users. It now supports ProRes RAW and it supports Genlock. If you've ever even heard of Genlock, well, you're probably a filmmaker who has long wished the iPhone had this thing, and now it does. It's the industry standard feature for synchronizing multiple cameras during shooting, which is presumably what was used during another half surprise, the iPhone Air. The whole event was actually shot apparently on iPhone 17 Pro, but given all of the leaks, the particular shots they had, the gorgeous shots that they had of the Air in motion, shot from different angles, that was using Genlock, surely. But concentrate on the product, William. The iPhone Air. The half surprise is because the only part that was not very well known was the name. It's as leaked in the last few minutes before the launch. It's not the iPhone 17 Air as expected. It's just the iPhone Air. You do have to wonder what's going to happen next year. But speaking of next year, possibly the last significant surprise was not that AirPods Pro 3 have been launched, and not even that they feature live translation, which is incredible, but that they feature live translation right now. It was most recently rumoured, for example, that this, startling feature would come sometime next year, but no. The minute you can get your hands on AirPods Pro 3 starting September 19, you've got live translation. It's astounding. Whether it reminds you of Star Trek's Universal Translator or The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy's Babelfish, with AirPods Pro stuck in your ears, you will hear live translation of whatever someone is saying to you. Okay, true, the odds are that one of the things they'll say is, "Oi, take those AirPods out, I'm talking to you," but they'll be saying it in countless different languages. And yeah, actually, they may then also be saying something like, I practiced this, "Est vraiment un iPhone?" Or, "Is that really an iPhone?" when they finally see your iPhone Air. It is every bit as thin as previously reported. In fact, it's hard really to find a detail that wasn't correctly leaked or predicted somewhere. And yet, the final version, when you see Apple demonstrate it, yeah, you do want one. But then you may also want an Apple Watch Series 11, maybe because it adds the health features of hypertension detection and a sleep score system. That sounds at first like it's going to rate your sleeping because, well, it is, really. But rather than saying, well, you had a bad night and you must try harder, it's going to give you a score and say why you got that score. So, for instance, if you went to bed later than usual, that'll knock a few points off, and it will also be telling you, well, don't do that again. You'll improve by going earlier and things like that. There's also the new Apple Watch SE, which actually, like the base iPhone 17, I think is remarkable value. It brings that same sleep score, for example, plus the always-on display. I love always-on on the iPhone. It's great on the iPhone, but I think it is essential on the Apple Watch. It's really what makes the Apple Watch a watch. And now, all of the Apple Watches available, all of them have this always-on display. And naturally, of course, that also includes what I think you could probably call the last of the major new devices launched at this awe-dropping event, the Apple Watch Ultra 3. Okay, Apple did also bring out the rumoured crossbody strap, it brought out the tech-woven case designs, and it launched a new slim MagSafe battery accessory for the iPhone Air, which does slightly make you question its claim of great battery life on the Air. Why would you need the thing? But okay, work with them. Apple Watch Ultra, though, that's the major release left to talk about, because at last it has a true upgrade. Last year, if you may remember, Apple's update to the Apple Watch Ultra was just that we're bringing it out in black, which was very nice. But yeah, now there is a true Apple Watch Ultra 3. It has the hypertension and it has the sleep score features, plus it adds even longer battery life, now up to 42 hours in regular use or 72 hours in lower power mode, and it's now 5G and it has satellite communications. Listen, even without talking to Wes about this yet, I can tell you that he's buying one. I mean, partly because it comes in black. But you and I can check in with him about that on Friday's full Apple Insider podcast when, as I say, we're going to know more about everything. And I think we'll also have had time to weigh up what we saw and judge how significant and how useful today's launches have really been. All of that is on Friday. But in the meantime, I'm William Gallagher. Thank you very much for listening. And if you've been surprised by any of Apple's announcements, email me on william@appleinsider.com and we'll talk about you on the show.